What I'm trying to say in the final analysis, once we take control of ourselves, we have to stop being imitators and be innovators. And realize we've got a continent 12 million square miles. Wherever our bodies are on the face of this earth, our cultural and political heartbeat is in Africa. Whether you ever go to Africa or not, that is your home, that is the home of your spirit, and that is the heart and meaning and definition of your commitment. And none of us, any place in the world, will be free until that continent is free.
The Mii Warrior Clan was created because myself and others like Brother Nahisi saw a need for a young African group to analyze information concerning the African phenomenon with no bias, with rigor, and with scholarship. We created the Mii Warrior Clan for the purpose of being an expert research team, of being a team that produced products, a team that was capable of producing products for African people globally to dispel myths, rumors, and provide them with accurate scholarship.
line it up. And he was like, I don't debate y'all. Y'all too disrespectful. Aboriginal power won't even debate Sean because he too disrespectful.
He is though. No, he really is though. I can't really like you, bro. You cool. Not a coincidence. I actually chop it up a cut. But niggas that come off too heated and disrespectful, like I said, I'll debate you, bro. But we gotta get in the ring first. If you're gonna be disrespectful like that, at least disrespect me in the ring, bro. Let's start now, bro. Can you disrespect me in a cage, bro? Like, I'd rather just do that. Then we go straight from the cage. I mean, put your ice on the way to the motherfucking computer, and we'll debate directly after that, nigga. Shit.
That's why I don't need these. Fucking with the nigga and shit. You feel me? Like, it's like, wait, bro, talk like that, man. We gotta get face to face with you to talk to you like that, my nigga.
Yeah, Peanut. You feel me? Go ahead, I got my brother already. Peanut, what's the word, my brother?
Yeah, I appreciate you, man, but Lucky, let me say this, man. First of all, I'm an older brother. I'm young in spirit because I stay in shape. But I'm older. I deserve respect. Don't lie on me. You're not going to get nowhere lying because that's what's going to make you fall face first. Second of all, I'm well known in the Pan-African community. I'm not nobody new. You're younger than me. You don't know this. I didn't put in work and expose Rob Bourne, Sutek, any of them people over there. They know it deep down inside. And I'm gonna be long-winded. I'm a Moorish American. I already had back and forth with them dudes. They erased videos. I'm not running from anybody. Don't ever say that stupid shit again. Third, and last but not least, I'm not losing no debate to no Pan-African. So don't ever say that shit again, famo. And that's it. Appreciate y'all, man.
You heard it. If Sean P want to debate, tell him to debate the champ over there, right?
Sutek want to know. So this like it's a pecking order. It's a pecking. So Sean want you and Sutek want him. You say PMF ain't on his
no problem. There's no problem, man. Let's set up a Sutek debate, man. I don't like him anyway.
Okay, so I love that son, brother. I love that warrior mentality.
I love to tell Sutek. There ain't nothing. My champ always in the chat. Album pop in. We'll set a topic. We'll set a date. We'll make it pay-per-view. We'll chop it up behind the scenes. I get their contact. We make it work. You heard it right here. He ain't ducking no favors, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. He do this over here on y'all channel, but then when we get in other
hey, alright, I will block your ass, nigga, because I'm well known for disrupting them chats over there, nigga. Stop fucking lying, nigga. You a goofy, nigga. I would never let a lame ass nigga around me in my face, clown.
You gonna block me? I don't be.
It ain't no time I ain't ever been on the Pan-African channel and made my impact. Stop lying. I'm a real man, bro. Stop lying, fam. Don't do PNF like that.
PNF, they trying to trigger you, brother.
Word the fuck up.
But listen, he did that to me, talking about, oh, word on the street, I'm ducking from John B. I've never even had but one conversation with this little disrespectful motherfucker.
Oh, okay, yeah, he a little hot. He like that.
So he like...
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find y'all
own genealogy?
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all did.
I don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all don't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK. TKO. Now he's a con. OTK. You died. TKO. Genealogy.
What's good with everybody, man? It's your boy Sean P in the place to be. It's been a minute. I know it has. Please like the show, share the show. Tell a friend. We live. Man, I just been cool, and you know what I'm saying? On my off days, I just been football and watching college football and just been relaxing. But it's a few things that I do want to get into. So you may see that button hot potentially. Maybe next week, and then a few days after that, like during the week, something like that. It just depends on how things work out. But I appreciate everybody showing up. I know it's been a minute, but please like the show, share the show. I'm not expecting a lot of people here. I really wished that the Aboriginal community, the people that support people like Aboriginal Power, A1, Dane Calloway, the research guy, Top Cats, Phoenix Moon, Betty, Smoke Signal. I wish they was in the chat right now. But I know that they're not going to be in the chat right now. And one of the reasons that they're not going to be in the chat is because they don't like to hear something that opposes their worldview and attacks them emotionally because of that worldview, that belief that they have. It's no different than religion. So if you were to sit on a panel, or if you were entertained by the biblical narrative and who wrote the Bible and all of this bullshit, right? You don't see many people that are hit. Like if you see Garfield when he go live, you don't see 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 Christians in his chat. Process that. It's confirmation bias. Right. Anytime we speak of the opposing view of whoever, I don't care if you claim to thank you from Kemet, you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're an Abo, a Hebrew, or more Israelite, whatever the case may be. I'm always on the opposing end of that. And they don't take that very well. They don't take that very well. Yeah, this is a channel that they stay away from intentionally. And I really wish today was one of those days, because we're going to get into one of the biggest claims that came out of the mouth of A1 and AP, and a lot of the people that still fall up under the umbrella of the belief. So a few hundred people that may be subscribed to his channel who hold on to every word that they actually say over there. All of them, I tagged them. The Cosmons, I tagged them. The OTK, I tagged them. There's nothing to run from. I tagged them. What up, Nada C? What's good, bro? What you been up to? What up, Thurman? Thumba, what's good? Ramon, what's good? Mika, big head ass. What's good? Zane, Andy, I see you. Lamar, what up, bro? Midwest, I see you. Turtle Gang in the building. Kim was in the building. I don't know if she back. Peace to you. Peace to everybody who will catch the live later. Please like the show, share the show. Please. Please like the show, share the show. Yeah, man, it is. It is. I don't know what's going on out there, but so before I share my screen and get into the build today, I'm doing this intentionally, okay? Because this dude claimed that he wanted to step in the ring with me and debate this topic about, what was that, 4 or 5 months ago? His what up, Afro Ninja, aka you know who, I ain't gonna give out your other name. But he claimed that he wanted to debate me on this topic. I gave him time. He's had months. He's already debated this shit before, without a coincidence. So he's had months. Where is it at? Right here. He's running. So, you know, I've been watching the YSL trial, and you know what I'm saying, and the last 2 members, you know, they fight murders. But it's not the trial that intrigues the way information is divvied out or the evidence is divvied out. It is the non-jury days that intrigue my intelligence more. And what I mean by that is you have 2 opposing sides, the prosecution and the defense. You have this mountain of incoming evidence, or Brady, right? They got all this evidence that's supposed to come in before, during the non-jury days that they present, and then the witnesses and the whole 9 yards. The state's supposed to hand over all its evidence, and the defense is supposed to hand over all its evidence, and this is brought before the judge, and then they argue over what is actually going to be brought up in trial. The legalities of the opposing views on a particular subject matter. That's the format of a debate, right? So that intrigued me a whole lot. So what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to hide nothing. If he takes the debate, I'm going to give him some insight into what that would look like. He's not going to take the debate. Let's just get it straight. He's going to avoid it because he does not know what I possess or may bring, and therefore he has already presented an argument that he thinks that he could win on a point that he's already been beat up on by not a coincidence. So it's unfair, right? He gonna be like, you already saw what I got. I ain't see what you get. So I'm gonna show you. By the end of this, the presentation part of it, I may elaborate into some other things that I have regarding the same subject matter, but just to bring the people's attention and make them aware of this evidence and information. So with that being said, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. We're gonna get to work. So again, please like the show, share the show. I know it ain't been popping in a minute. I don't know who else is live. I know I ain't arguing, debating, and cussing people out or talking crap, right? So it's not too intriguing. But this is You'll see. It's a nice treat. Oh, everybody know Pure Black's alter ego page. Y'all should by now. Okay. Can y'all see that full screen? Should be able to see it full screen. There you go. You should be able to see it full screen. Let me know if you have a hard time seeing it. Before I get into it, I want to kind of make the corrections. We good? Okay. All right. I don't see too many more people saying nothing, but all right, cool. So you see the title. White Slaves of America, did blacks and Native Americans own white slaves? Teaching moment.
Rather not white. Hold on. Since you was pulling up white slaves of America, we already got that. Let's put that Negroes and Indians own white slaves in America, brother. Let's do that.
I heard them. Did Negroes or Indians own white slaves? Let's pull that up, brother.
Hey, Pete, I don't agree with you. Them white people that was here were indentured. Even the criminals that they sent over here because they were trying to get them out of the country, out of their countries, they were indentured. They were contract.
Let's play the clip of you talking back, so to make sure that we.
I heard that. You don't have to play it back.
I want to make sure that we agreed on the same thing.
Yeah, you do. That ain't a debate. That's what I'm saying.
I don't care. So listen, was they enslaved? Yes or no? It's just a simple.
Look how scared you are. You're so goddamn scared.
It's a simple yes or no.
Not by Negroes or Indians. And and all you motherfuckers on the show we played last night agreed that Negroes was owning whites. That was your argument, nigga. Stand on it.
Let's take that debate. Then.
Stand on it.
Let's take it.
We can do it tonight, nigga.
So the debate was did black people or Negroes or Indians own white slaves?
And they didn't.
I said, let's debate it. And we agreed on that, right?
Let's debate it.
All right. We supposed to set it up for the 13th, which that was last week. Which the 13th will be this Saturday. We can set a date up to lock in the debate, bro. Like, so we agreed on the debate. We can go ahead and lock it in and make it official,
bro. And when you want to get in the ring, man?
All right. Do you have any busy days on your schedule coming up?
Man, I'm free Saturday, bro. I just gotta take my kids to barbershop. It's in the morning.
For this Saturday, yeah, we can do this Saturday, the 13th. We do 5:00 p.m.
So y'all heard it.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
I'm gonna play that one more time.
Hey, Pete, I
am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
We ain't playing no more. Just the final nail. And this is how we gonna do it, with or without him. We don't need his information. We know what he got. So here's my methodology. I will use primary and secondary sources to answer the research questions. I will use a qualitative approach to reach an honest conclusion based on evidence, not belief, speculation, or hearsay. Most of the primaries will be shown, and all sources per slide will have the source link or title and author at the bottom. I will also share a few tools that provide access to indentured servitude data. The debate about white slaves in America has been a topic of conversation before this teaching moment. Aboriginal Power has argued this topic once before against not a coincidence. Then months later, autochthonous one wanted to argue the same topic against not a coincidence. Both arguments have yet to yield evidence for blacks or natives owning white slaves in colonial America. Today, we are here to put the final nail in the argument of white people in America being slaves or owned by blacks or natives. So here's my outline. We dealing with the research questions, the hypothesis, definition, slave, indentured servants, incumbida, I always mess this up, comedia, or however you say it, caste systems, argument, conclusions. I ain't said that word in so long. And comoderos. So here are the research questions. Were white people enslaved in America? Did Native Americans or blacks own white slaves? So what's my hypothesis? Well, everybody should know it. I believe that neither a black person nor Native American owned white slaves. White people immigrated to the Americas from Europe and weren't considered slaves in America. The reason I believe that white people were not slaves and couldn't be owned by blacks or Native Americans is due to the laws and social hierarchy that were immediately established by whites using racial classifications by early Europeans that are still relevant today. So let's go through a few definitions, and hopefully you can see this on the screen. Let me make sure that it is accessible to you. Yes, okay. So you should be able to see it. All right. So a slave, a person who is wholly subject to the will of another, one who has no will of his own, but whose persons and services are wholly under the control of another. In the early state of the world, and to this day, among some barbarous nations, prisoners of war are considered and treated as slaves. The slaves of modern times are more generally purchased like horses and oxen. One who has lost the power of resistance, or another who surrenders himself to any power, whatever, as a slave to passion, to lust, to ambition, a mean person, one in the lowest state of life, a drudge, one who labors like a slave. And that's from the Webster's Dictionary, 1828. The definition for indentured servant. Indentures are agreements between two parties about long-term work. The length of servitude might be a specified number of years or until the servant reaches a certain age. Some people indentured themselves in order to gain passage to America or to escape debt and poverty. Others, including convicts, were sold into indentured upon arrival. Indentures are a type of contract that was torn in two, so each party could have a portion. Fitting the parts together again at the fulfillment of the contract was proof of authenticity of the papers. Indentures were used for apprenticeship agreements as well as for service agreements. So apprentices. Traditionally, young people have been bound to a master or an apprentice to learn a trade from him. The master would feed, clothe, and instruct the apprentice in trade, and the apprentice would provide labor and watch out for his master's interests. At the end of the apprenticeship, the young person receives clothes, tools, and became a journeyman who could work for himself. Then you had the transported convicts. Those who were convicted of felonies sometimes escaped the sentence of death when they were sentenced to transportation to the Americas. This solved two problems for the government. It provided a much needed workforce for the colonies, and it got criminals out of the prison and off the streets. Convicts who had been sold into indentured servitude and who were making good in their new lives were sometimes politely referred to as servants to avoid the stigma. Now, this word, everybody should look up. Don't use this source, you ain't got to. Because they pronounce it several different ways. But the encomienda. All right, repeat this. It was a system where Spanish adventurers and settlers were granted the legal right to extract forced labor from indigenous tribal chiefs in the Americas, colonies, and the Spanish Empire. In return, the Europeans were expected to give military protection to the laborers and offer them, the opportunity to be converted to Christianity by funding a parish priest. And Comida system permitted the Spanish crown to convert its invading army of conquistadors into colonial settlers. But the system's flaws, maltreatment, and significant population reduction from diseases meant that it was eventually replaced by a system of low-paid labor and large estate management. What up, Thomas? Now, Comida was usually granted for life, but was not a hereditary, despite calls for it to be so by holders of the right in some religious orders. It was believed that if settlers' families had an extended relationship with their laborers, they would treat them better. The call for the hereditary encomidas were rejected by the crown as it was wished to keep its options open and maintain its overall control of the colonies. Consequently, in the majority of the cases, the encomida of the deceased holder reverted to the crown with a small provision made to surviving widow and any children. Encomida was a system where Spanish adventurers and settlers were granted the legal right to extract forced labor from indigenous tribal chiefs. I am repeating this again on purpose. This system is the system that we see in the Columbus Americas, I should say. When the Spanish arrived to the Americas, this was the coveting system of all systems before it evolved into something else. Now, why am I stressing this point? Let's figure that out. A couple more definitions and then we'll get into why I'm stressing the point. So in colonial Mexico, the caste system was a rigid social racial classification imposed by Spanish colonial rule, designed to maintain a hierarchy based on ancestry. This system intricately categorized individuals based on their racial makeup, profoundly influencing their social status, rights, and opportunities. It is within this context that the primary categories of the caste system emerged, from each reflecting a specific racial mixture and societal position. And as you can see the names here, right here. So let's look at the colonial class structure. Ladies and gentlemen, enslaved persons were brought from Africa and the Caribbean. Above these enslaved persons were Native Americans. Above the Native Americans were born Spanish and Native American Indian parents, the mestizos. Above the mestizos were the Creoles, who were born in New Spain of Spanish parents. Above the Spanish parent Creoles, you have the Peninsulars, the Spaniards born in Spain. So, around this time in 1492, Christopher Columbus' arrival into the New World affected the way Europeans viewed the world politically, socially, and economically. The Columbian Exchange was a large trade of goods of people from the Old World to the New World. Furthermore, the idea of mercantilism controlled these foreign colonies and trade, which equated to wealth and a sense of security for the colonies. Spanish conquerors used their large plantations to force labor among Africans and Indian slaves. Somewhere along the line, the Spanish began to intermarry and discriminate against these laborers, which in turn created a new class system and destroyed native cultures. The social class system of Latin America goes as follows: from the most power and fewest people to those with the least amount of power and the most people. Peninsulars, Creoles, mestizos, mulattoes, Native Americans, and Africans. So their caste system for the Spanish put them at the top of that caste system. And then it works its way all the way down. You have to remember that. Those with a higher class made the most materialistic goods and were known of being a bit of a show-off, especially in paintings. The Roman Catholic Church created these class systems during baptism. Although gender roles for men and women came into play, men and women had specific roles and expectations for their daily lives. This colonization affected the way Latin America would be perceived forever. It resulted in deep-rooted race issues and inequality, created division between the rich and the poor, and created specific gender roles that are still followed to this day. Latin American social stratification during the colonial period represented a unique system of racial, social, economic castes. Domination by the Spanish crown in colonial political affairs and peninsular prejudice against American-born Spaniards caused tension between the Spanish elites and their American counterpart. As colonial dissatisfaction with the subordinate status to peninsulars, Spanish grew. Key beliefs inherited from Reconquest Spain directed colonists toward the implementation of racial hierarchy. This caste system placed Spanish colonists as the dominating class, while relegating indigenous and African populations to the most inferior social standing. As racial miscegenation increased, mixed races overpowered colonial society. So here we go. Here is an example of what I was just referring to. This painting to the right of you is very explicit. What does it say? Luis de Mina's painting, The Escanadas de Mestiza, portrays a classic scene of the 18th century Mexican society. The patron saint, the Virgin of Guadalupe. We heard this before, right? The Virgin of Guadalupe. We heard a whole dude who, Sean, Sean, you don't know nothing, Sean. I hate you, Sean. Y'all know that weird voice dude. He brought up the Virgin of Guadalupe before, along with a few other people, but they tried to imply and make it go towards something else, never having a clear understanding of what the Virgin of Guadalupe was representation of. But we're gonna move on from that because this ain't what we're about to debate. Diane Calloway and all them type dudes. Yep, I got y'all. So the Virgin of Guadalupe elaborately dressed Spanish elite in overt racial propaganda. By the mid-18th century, when Mina created this painting, racial stratification had evolved from a broadly defined socioeconomic separation between who? Africans, the indigenous, and Spanish, to minutely differentiate an intricate racial caste that pervaded almost every aspect of life. So, initially, the right of encomienda was given to the Aulantendo, that is, a conquistador, who had been awarded the license to explore and conquer new territories on behalf of the Spanish crown. The Aulantendo could keep 80% of any wealth he acquired in the process. The crown got the remaining 20%, and this included a right to use local labor. The encomienda was then extended to settlers so that, in effect, an invading army was transformed into casa militia urban populations that earned wealth from land worked by indigenous peoples in the surrounding area. There were intense debates in Spain throughout the 16th century as to which of the often conflicting aims of material gain and religious conversion should be regarded as the most important. The 1512 Law of Burgos set out how indigenous peoples should be treated and the responsibilities of settlers as Christians. Then the Council of the Indies in Spain, which supervised all aspects of the colonies, issued directives that local people should not be exploited to the point of starvation and death. Let me pause real quick. Basically, what I am saying to you thus far is I've given clear definitions of what certain words mean that you probably never thought about integrating into this argument. I am setting apart a clear distinction of the racial classifications that were bestowed on the people that were here by the Spanish. So now that we have an indication of who is calling the shots, who is dictating the terms, and what do these people see, we can already make a deciding factor on answering either both of the research questions or one of the research questions. But that's not it. You just can't stop there. So you have to dig deeper. So you already put the onus on the Spanish on the dictation of who they saw, what they saw, and what was established. Remember, he said that natives and blacks owned slaves. And the slaves that they owned were white people. So based on the racial classification that had been already established when the Spanish took over, we ain't hear shit about whites. Excuse me to the youth that are out here rewatching this. Let me plug my laptop up. Give me a second. Let's cook. In New Spain, castas developed as the elaborate hierarchical classification based on ethnicity, race, and class, and was used by the Spaniards to maintain their social and political control. Pure-blooded Spaniards held the top position in their constructed social and racial hierarchy, and Africans were considered the most inferior. Members of the mixed classes fit into the hierarchy depending on the quantity of tainted blood found in their genealogy. Spanish legislation encouraged Africans to marry African, placed obstacles to marry between African and Indian, restricted Zombos or Lobos from dressing like Spaniards or going to school. Castas were also used to create division between Africans and Indians to counter their formation of alliances against the Spanish colonials. The racial caste system of Spanish colonial society reflected the influence of European power over the Americas. The use of popular science, especially astrology and Hippocratic Galenic physiology, contributed to assertions of the inferiority of American inhabitants, while cartographic imagery of savage indigenous populations only enhanced negative opinions of the Americas. This attitude towards the Americas, along with the inherited Iberian ideology, ultimately acted as the impetus for the creation of complex racial hierarchy found in the colonies. In response to this European influence, Creole elites constructed a complex racial hierarchy to categorize indigenous and African populations as mixed groups. So prior to the installation of the caste system, precursors of the ideology of caste derived from the social and political trends of late medieval Europe, and more particularly late medieval Spain. Before Columbus encountered the Americas, Europeans based their authority and sophistication on their adherence to Christianity. Its presence or absence became a way to judge whether a society was advanced. However, upon encountering the Americas, several explorers praised the pagan continent as appearing similar to a paradise. The House of America was built on the foundation of a caste system, placing whites at the top and black people at the bottom. The infrastructure of the social and political landscapes is based on human hierarchy developed 400 years ago when Europeans first came to this land. The terms caste and caste have different meanings, but there's a relationship between them that explains the development of race in colonial America, the advent of slavery, and the current social and political landscape. The American caste system was based on differences in people's appearance. This arbitrary manner of differentiating one group for another is what developed the concept of race. Without it, race would not carry the importance it does today or even been something we assign meaning to. We have properly defined slaves, caste systems, who indentured servants were, and encomida, based on the social hierarchy and status of whites in the New World. Subjecting them to slavery is far more than a reach. Old world ideology impacted the Europeans' worldview as they explored the New World and the state's claim to land and resources. They didn't venture into the New World with enslaved white people and put them to work. They subjected the natives to that harsh labor, and then Africans, once natives proved unable to bear the harsh working conditions and illness from the old world diseases. I guess their ancestors owned white slaves. Process this. These people ancestors, I guess, owned white slaves. Does any of these people look familiar to you? Do any of these people that look familiar to you, do you think that they people owned white slaves? I know some of y'all are thinking like, hold on, who was this one? Who was that one? Who was this one? Who was that one? Did these peoples own white slaves? When the London Company set out its first expedition to begin colonizing Virginia on December 20th of 1606, it was by no means the first European attempt to exploit North America. In 1564, for example, French Protestants built a colony near what is now Jacksonville, Florida, Duval. Juju in the building. This intrusion did not go unnoticed by the Spanish, who had previously claimed the region. The next year, Spanish established a military post in St. Augustine. Spanish troops soon wiped out the French interlopers residing but 40 miles away. In the early 1600s, the rapid succession, the The English began the colony Jamestown, the Chesapeake Bay in 1607. The French built Quebec in 1608. The Dutch began their interest in the region that became present-day New York within another generation. The Plymouth Company in 1620, the Massachusetts Bay Company in 1629, the Company of New France in 1627, and the Dutch West Indian Company in 1621 began to send thousands of colonists, including families, to North America. Hold on just a second. Did you hear what I just said? I said that the English colony began in the Jamestown, Chesapeake Bay in 1607. The French built Quebec in 1608. The Dutch built New York around that same time. Within another generation, the Plymouth Company in 1620, Massachusetts 1629, the Company of New France in 1627, and the Dutch West Indian Company in 1621. What did they do? They started sending thousands of colonists, including families, to North America. These were white people coming into North America by these different companies. So I told you who the French, the English, and the Dutch, they built these areas. And behind that, the companies shipping companies, ladies and gentlemen, don't be slow. They began to start sending people from these European places around these time periods. So how, for the life of me, is white people slaves being enslaved by some blacks and Native Americans when we know when people start coming to this mofo? There was nothing really truly established outside of the places we just named as the earliest. Let's move on. Successful colonization was not inevitable. Rather, interest in North America was a halting yet global contest among European powers to exploit these lands. There's another very important point to keep in mind. European colonization and settlement of North America and other areas of the so-called New World was an invasion of territory controlled and settled for centuries by Native Americans. To be sure, Native American control and settlement of that land looked different to European eyes. Nonetheless, Native American groups perceived the Europeans' arrival as an encroachment, and they pursued any number of avenues to deal with that invasion. Finally, it is also important to keep in mind that yet a third group of people, in this case, Africans, played an active role in the European invasion or colonization of the Western Hemisphere. From the very beginning, Europeans' attempts to establish colonies in the Western Hemisphere foundered on the lack of laborers to do the hard work of colony building. The Spanish, for example, enslaved the Native American in regions under their control. The English struck upon the idea of indentured servitude to solve the labor problem in Virginia. Virtually all the European powers eventually turned to African slavery to provide labor on their islands in the West Indies. Slavery was eventually transferred to the colonies in both South and North America. In Spanish America arose the first extensive dependency of Africans for slave labor, and thus the first master slave power struggles in the hemisphere. On the other side, this struggle manifested itself in the slave codes that upheld the legality of slavery and controlled the actions of slaves, freed slaves and masters, often with the stated of implied goal of protecting the white people from the potential power of black people. Black Code in Cuba. What y'all know about it? They said by the mid-1500s, the Cuban Indians had been virtually wiped out. and the Spanish began to import Africans to work in the port city of Havana and in the scattered rural plantations and ranches. Soon they realized the need for laws to control not only the slaves and free blacks, but also the owners whose excessive punishments and fraudulent schemes in the game of the slaves multiplied the problems wrought in the slave economy. In these regulations of 1574, you also see the relatively autonomy of Africans at this stage and the unease it caused the Spanish. Multiple ordinances for the city of Havana and other villages of the island on the 14th of January in 1574. Black Code in French West Indies, because I mentioned that. France faced similar problems as its Caribbean possessions increased in the mid-1600s and the plantation owners became dependent of the labor of imported Africans. In 1685, King Louis the, 14th or 15th, issued a code of noir to settle issues dealing with the conditions and the quality of slaves in the island, like the Spanish Code of 1574 and the Virginia Code of 1705. The code set restriction limits on the actions and status of slaves and freed slaves, as well as regulating the master's treatments of their charges, i.e. property. King Louis edict on the subject of the policy regarding the islands of French America in 1685. Slave codes were also devised in the English Caribbean islands. The Barbadian slave code, why did I say that? Barbadian slave code of 1661 served as a model for the South Carolina Code of 1697. I'm going to repeat that. The Barbadian Code of 1661 served as a model for the South Carolina Code of 1697. And it's also worth comparing it to the 1705 Virginia Code. The runaway slave communities, however, did not develop the same extent in the mainland English colonies as they did in the Caribbean. Ladies and gentlemen, I am naming specific primary sources here. From Barbados to South Carolina to Virginia and other places. So let's deal with the Virginia status, but hold on one second. In 1624, after nearly 2 decades of failure, Jamestown was placed under control of the crown instead of the investment company that founded it. By 1650, with tobacco production boom and the immigration boom of poor people arriving from England as indentured servants, Virginia had turned its course toward permanence. Many servants who survived their indenture were able to start their own prosperity. Not yet. Except for the few wealthy planters favored by William Berkeley, the appointed governor from 1641 to 52, 1660 to 77. In 1663, he wrote a status report on the colony, affirming the natural advantages it has above all others, His Majesty's plantations, and proceedings to list the reasons why Virginia has not in all supposed long track of time produced those rich and staple commodities, which I shall in discourse affirm it is capable of. Basically, he recommends that Virginia abandon its economic dependency on the vicious weed of tobacco. A few years later, Virginia would fall into harder times from tobacco overproduction, trade limitations imposed by England, attacks by Dutch rivals, and the consequences of restoration of English monarchy. And in 1675, the Settlers' Rebellion would break out. But for this discourse in view, Berkeley could report that while the Virginia of 1663 had much room for improvement, it was not the Jamestown of 1624. Until the late 1600s, the labor supply for Chesapeake Plantation was indentured servants, not enslaved Africans. Until the late 1600s, the labor supply for Chesapeake, Virginia was indentured servants, not enslaved Africans. Of the 120,000 immigrants to the Chesapeake colonies in the 1600s, 90,000 were indentured servants. That boy said that these white people were slaves to Native Americans and black folk. How, Sway? They immigrated here as indentured servants. Now, why did that happen? They were escaping the poverty of England. They contracted to work for 4 to 7 years before being freed with enough clothes and tools, and in some cases, free land to establish their own homesteads. Their experiences varied, of course, depending on their master, their work, their health, and their temperament. When you deal with the primaries. So let's talk a little bit. Life centered around the production of cash crops, such as tobacco. Tobacco created an export economy that required land and labor. 17th century tobacco growers in the Chesapeake called themselves planters, and even in the humblest of the homesteads was considered a plantation. Tobacco was a very labor-intense crop. Farmers required a constant supply of younger laborers to cultivate their crops and provide useful skills on the plantation. Although slavery was sanctioned by the law of 1664 in the early colony times, the hard work of tobacco planting and harvesting was performed more by indentured servants than enslaved Africans. Indentured servants were mostly young men between the ages of 15 and 25 years who signed contracts in England to work in the colonies without wages. Up to 75% of the individuals who came off the transatlantic slave ships. You see how I threw that in there? I did that on purpose because that ain't what it says. It says 75% of the individuals who came off the transatlantic ships in the 17th century were indentured servants. I wanted to be very clear so there's no confusion. So what they are referring to, ladies and gentlemen, is this is a shot at Dane Calloway as well. The mofo said it happened in reverse. So explain to us why all these white people are coming off these ships in the 17th century from Europe, and they all were contract workers. They weren't slaves. Explain that, Dane. Let's move on. So during Jamestown's first 20 years, the majority of the women who arrived, and they were few, were indentured servants. Once a servant arrived, the colonists would reimburse the contracting company for the individual's voyage expenses and would then put the man or woman to work without pay for 4 to 7 years. The servant's master provided food and lodging, as stipulated in the indented contract. After they had completed their service, the servants were provided the 3 barrels of corn, some tools for the land, and a new set of clothes and 50 acres. They didn't get 40 acres and a mule. They got 50 acres, clothes, land. Man, come on, man, that's land. Tools for the land and barrels of corn. For many, signing on as indentured servant was the only way to immigrate and improve their positions in life. Others, such as vagrant children and idle followers or criminals for suspicion of stealing 2 waistcoats sent to Virginia on the 6th of May in 1635, did not choose for themselves life in the colony. Oh, I love primaries. In praise of servitude, probably due to political strife in England rather than poverty, George Alsop worked as an indentured servant in Maryland from 1648 to 1652. After returning to England due to his illness, he wrote A Character of the Province of Maryland. He devotes a full chapter to the defense of servitude against those who prick up their ears and bray against it. Servitude, he insists, from his experience, checks in the giddy and wild-headed youth of England, offering them a chance to escape the doomed, undisciplined life for the opportunity to thrive in America. This is directly from George Alsop, a character of the province of Maryland in 1666. Those are his words. A sorrowful account of servitude. So you had a good account, and then you got a sorrowful account. You know, I just keep it straight down the middle. What's up, Infinite Styles? So admitting he was one of the giddies and wild-headed youth, listen to what Alsop says. Deplorer James Revels wrote a 4-part poem relating this 14-year indenture in Virginia, which he earned as a sentence for thievery. So James Revels, he stole something. And it go like this. In a simple rhyming couplets, he described his early life of crime, his arrival in Virginia, and his hard labor on tobacco plantation before being brought by a more considerate master. My countrymen, he concludes, take one an ear too late, lest you should share my unhappy fate. The poem is meant to be sung to the tune of Death and the Lady. There's a link in the supplemental sites from the link that I have down below, where you can hear the song. Truth be told, while Revels and Alsop relate different experience of servitude, they join in extolling its formative power. Little is known about Revels, and no published edition of the poem exists before 1767. Yet scholars generally agree that the poor and happy transported felon's sorrowful account is a document of the 1600s. So there was a servant uprising. In 1640, 6 white servants and 1 black slave were punished for stealing arms on a boat to escape down the Elizabeth River to a nearby Dutch plantation. From this brief court decision that reviews the uprising and lists the men's punishments, we can infer the men's reason for escaping and that the planners fear future rebellions. We can also make inferences about the relationship between servitude and slavery and about Virginia's attitude toward blacks in 1640s. This comes from the decision of General Court of Virginia in 1640. So I got this primary over here on the right, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the primary on the left, because it is the word-for-word translation of the primary on the right. This is why he didn't want to debate. This indentured witnesses that John Reed of Freedom Hold in the county of Monmouth, Jersey, by and with the consent of his father, John Reed of said place, hath put himself, and by these presents doth voluntary, and of his own free will and accord, put himself an apprentice to Robert Livingston, June of New York, with him to live, and after the manner of the apprentice to serve from the first day of November, Anno Domini 1742, till the full term of 5 years be complete and ended. During all which term the said apprentice his said master faithfully shall serve, his secrets kept, his lawful commands gladly everywhere obey. He should do no damage to his and said master, nor should he be done by others without letting or giving notice to his said master. He shall not waste his said master's goods, nor lend them unlawfully to any. He shall not commit fornication, nor contrary matrimony within the said term. At cards, dice, or any other unlawful game, he shall not play, whereby he said the master may have damage with his own goods, nor goods of others within the said term, without license from his said master. He shall neither buy nor sell. He shall not absent himself day or night from his said master's service without his leave, nor haunt ale houses, taverns, or playhouses. But in all things, as a faithful apprentice, he should behave himself to said master in all his during the said term. And the said master during the said term should be the most means of method that he can. Teacher calls the said apprentice to be taught the art and mastery of merchant, and also shall find and provide unto the said apprentice sufficient meat, drink, and lodging. For the true performance of all the every the said covenants and agreements, either of the said parties bind themselves unto the others by the presence in the witness whereof they have hereunto interchangeably put their hands and seals this first day of November, in the 16th year of his majesty reign, 1742, sealed and delivered in the presence of John Reed and John Carpenter and Richard Smith. This man gave his son up as an apprentice to this other gentleman for the tune of a few years to be taught where he can learn and be able to stand on his own too. This was an opportunity here. This is a signed contract of a primary that actually transpired and happened. Here are indentured runaway ads. I'm not going to dive a lot into this. We've seen these ads before. They continue to show up and appear. If you want access to them, of course, in the description of this video, all my sources are in there. Here's another indenture contract. I'm not going to read all of it, but this is about James Bracken, a linen weaver from Ireland. He agreed to serve 4 years as an indentured servant in Virginia for Enoch Stickney or his hires. So basically what I am showing you is a pattern of people signing these contracts to immigrate to the Americas and work and serve. Here's another advertisement. I'm going to give you a little bit of this one. This advertisement was published on September 4th in 1764, and this is for indentured servants to go to Virginia. Listen to what it says. An indenture was a legal contract between the master and servant. The servant had to work for a set periods, with the master agreeing to the passage to pay his passage to the colony, food and accommodation, and occasionally a small salary. I'm gonna stop right there. We all know this. So they put ads in the newspapers in Europe. Wanted ads in the newspaper of Europe to send these people to Virginia as indentured contract laborers. You people ain't coming over here as slaves. Here go another one. Just arrived in New York. The brilliant Captain Miller in London with a cargo of choice, healthy, indentured servants, the sale of which will begin at Richmond town on Wednesday, the 25th of May. Among whom are the following: tradesmen, blacksmiths, braziers, edge tool makers, bricklayers, plastifiers, shoemakers, stone millers, carpenters, joiners and cabinet makers, cloth weavers, stocking weavers, barbers, gardeners, farmers, husbandmen, bookkeepers, schoolmasters, tailors. These ain't no damn slaves. These people have expertise. Bakers, painters, surgeons, groomsmen, stewards, butchers. In the New World, which carried over from the Old World, Europeans immediately separated themselves from Native Americans and Africans, using race as a determining factor. So, with that being the case, it would be unscholarly to argue for a white slave system in the Americas. We do not have any established evidence to argue the case, as we will continue to see moving forward. Robert Beverly, 1705, of the servants and slaves in Virginia. Hired servants, they distinguish by their names of slaves for life and servants for a time. Slaves are the Negroes and their posterity children following the condition of their mother according to the maximum partis circuitur ventrum. They are called slaves in respect of the time of their servitude because it is for life. So there was a difference between a slave and a servant. A slave was for life. A servant was for a time. This is basically what this source is saying. I'm not going to misconstrue it and confuse you any further. I will continue to elaborate. The law in the case of that, if such servants be under 19 years of age, they must be brought into court to have their age adjudged. And from the age they are judged to be of, they must serve until they reach 4 or 20. But if they are to be adjudged upwards of 19, they are the only to be servants for the term of 5 years. So if you're older than 19 years of age, you only got to serve, the most you can serve is 5 years. The male servants, slaves, and slaves of both sexes are employed together in tillings and manuring the ground, and sowing and planting tobacco, corn, etc. Some distinctions indeed is made between them in their clothes and food, but the work of both is no other than what the overseers, the freedmen, and the planters themselves do. What's her ballot? What up? Robert Beverly, 1705. Of the servants and slaves in Virginia, sufficient distinction is also made between the female servants and slaves. For a white woman is rarely or never put to work in the ground, if she be a good for anything else, and to discourage all planters from using any women so, their law imposes taxes upon female servants working in the ground, while it allows all the other white women to be absolutely exempt. Whereas, on the other hand, it is a common thing to work a woman slave out of the doors, nor does the law make any distinctions in her taxes, whether her work be abroad, outside, or home. Races and sexes. Here's another primary source right here. This could also be found in the Library of Congress. It speaks of the servants and the slaves in Virginia. Just want to put this on the screen. You can pause the video and read it, or you can go in the description and obtain the source if you would like. So here are the bylaws of their country. All servants whatsoever have their complaints heard without fee or reward. But if the master be found faulty, the charge of the complaint is cast upon him. Otherwise, the business is done ex officio. Any justice of peace may receive the complaint of a servant, order everything relating thereto, till the next county court where it will be finally determined. All masters are under the correction and censor of the county courts to provide their servants good and wholesome diet, clothing, and lodging. They are always to appear upon the first giving of the complaint of the servants, otherwise to forfeit their service of them. 5. All servants' complaints are to be received at the time of court without the process, and shall not be delayed for want of form, but the merits of the complaint must be immediately inquired into the justices, and if the masters cause delay therein, the court may remove such servants they strip that master of that servant and somebody else could take over that contract. If a master should be so cruel as to use his servant ill, that is, fallen sick, lame in his service, and thereby rendered unfit for labor, he must be removed from the church wardens out of the way of such cruelty and aboard some good planter's house till the time of his freedom. So if you don't treat this servant correctly, they can judge against you to strip you of these servants and put them into somebody else's hands where their work would be tendered good, and they can remain there during the duration of their contract. All hired servants are entitled to these privileges. I just listed 7 privileges for indentured servants. There's more, but I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to put them on the screen so you can pause them. These are for servants. These ain't for slaves. So they make clear separation of who's a slave and who's a servant. And for how long. But then now one of these things, they saying that freaking Native Americans and blacks is owning these people. Virginia, an act concerning servants and slaves, October 1705. This is an excerpt from a primary source. It is stated as follows. Be enacted by the governor, the council, and the burgesses of the present General Assembly, and is hereby enacted by the authority of the same, that all servants brought into this country without indenture, if the said servant be Christians and of Christian percentage, and above 19 years of age, shall serve but 5 years, and if under 19 years of age, till they shall become 24 years of age, and no longer. That all servants imported and brought into the country by sea or land, who were not Christians in their native country, except Turks and Moors, in amity with her Majesty, and others that can make due proof of their being free in England, or any other Christian country, before they were shipped in order to transportation hither shall be accounted and be slaves, as such be here brought and sold, notwithstanding, in a conversion to Christianity afterwards. That all masters and owners of servants shall find and provide their servants wholesome and competent diet, clothing, and lodging by the discretion of the county clerk, and shall not at any time give immoderate correction. Excessive punishment is what immoderate correction means. Neither shall at any time whip Christians, white servants, naked without an order from justice of peace. So you can't beat white slaves without permission, so-called slaves without permission. So you damn sure know that these are not slaves, because they make differences. All servants not being slaves, whether imported or become servants of their own accord here, or bound in any court of the church wardens, shall have the complaints received by justice of peace, who, if he find cause, shall blind the master over to answer the complaint at court. So show me a slave that can go to the court and say, I'm being mistreated, I ain't getting no food or clothes, and master beating on them, and the court gonna strip you from that person and put you somewhere else. That's just not happening, A1. You lying, bro. You lying on everything, you know. So Virginia, an act concerning servants and slaves. Here's another excerpt. I just read you one, so I'm gonna read you another one. Peep this. That no Negroes, mulattoes, or Indians, although Christians or Jews, Moors or Mohammedans, Muslims, or other infidels shall at any time purchase any Christian servant, nor any other except of their own complexion or such as declared slaves by this act. Pause. I don't even need to read no more. They just told us you can only enslave your own. You gets no playing this ride. You can't touch these good white Christian folk. That's what they said. You can't touch these good white Christian folk. You out your mind. What else they say? That there shall be paid and allowed to very important servant not having yearly wages at the time of service by the master or owner of the servant, viz. To every male servant 10 bushels of Indian corn, 30 shillings in money, or the value thereof in goods, and 1 well-fixed musket of fuzzy, of the value of 20 shillings at least, and to every woman servant 15 bushels of Indian corn and 40 shillings in money, or the value of thereof in goods. That in all cases, penal laws whereby persons free are punishable by fines. Servants shall be punished by whippings after the rate of 20 lashes for every 500 pounds of tobacco, or 50 shillings current money, unless this servant so culpable can and will procure some persons or persons to pay the fine, in which the said servant shall be adjudged to serve such benefactor after a time of the indenture, custom or order of court, to his or her then present master or owner shall be expired. That ain't it. That whatsoever English or other white man or woman being free shall intermarry with a Negro, mulatto, man or woman, bound or free, shall by judgment of the county court be committed to prison, and there remain during the space of 6 months without bail or main prize, and shall forfeit to pay 10 pounds current money of Virginia to use or to perish. So if white people wanted to intermarry or intermingle, they could be sentenced to jail for 6 months and pay a fine. And you're telling me that blacks and Native Americans own white people? Is you out your mind? More acts concerning slaves. And if any slave resists his master or owner or other persons by his or her order correcting such slave, and shall happen to kill in such correction, it shall not be accounted felony, but the master and owner and every such person is given correction shall be free and acquitted of all punishments and accusations for the same, as if such accident had never happened. And also, if any Negro, mulatto, or Indian, bound or free, shall at any time lift his or her hand in opposition against a Christian, not being Negro, mulatto, or Indian, he or she offending shall, for every such offense proved by the oath of the party, receive on his or her bare back 30 lashes, well laid on cognizable by a justice of the peace for the county wherein such offense shall be committed. So your black ass, if your black ass A1 raised or lifted your hand to a white person, you would immediately be bound to lashes. I don't care if you was a mulatto. I don't care if you was a Negro. I don't care if you was a Native American Indian. Raise your hand to a white person, your ass getting beat. But you said that niggas and Indians owned white people. Excuse me for saying the N-I-G-G-A-S. But he said black people own white slaves. That's what he said. But then right here in an excerpt, it's clearly telling you, you lift your hand to us if you want to. We're going to beat the brakes off for you. That ain't all they said. They said that no slave go armed with gun, sword, club, staff, or other weapon, nor go from off the plantation and seat of the land where such slave should be appointed to live, without a certificate of leave in writing for doing from his or her master, mistress, or overseer. Negro, you had to go get a note from your master, overseer, or mistress to go sit by the lake and rap with your old lady. You needed permission to go fish, to swim in the lake. And you telling me that your people own these white people, bro? Really? Really? Peep this. The baptism of slaves does not exempt them from bondage, and that all children shall be born to be bound or free according to the conditions of their mothers, and particularly directions of this act. It's a little pain right here. This came up before. These little darkies right here, them the Africans working on tobacco plantation. This is what the primary originally looks like. You've seen another rendition of this that will show these two pale skins over here. It would show them as dark skinned, and these would become lighter or red. The Abos have mastered the art of said paintings. So, 17th century Virginia laws defining occupational boundaries between indentured servitude and enslavement were flexible. Africans were as likely to be indentured, contract as to servant to work for a set amount of time as they were to be enslaved. The work of indentured servants, English or African, was much the same as the work of those enslaved. Social relationships between indentured servants and slaves were also fluid during this period. Gradually, the English passed laws transforming the work and social relationships between African and English subjects from indentured servants to race-based slavery. However, 17th century Africans, like other colonial people, could and did seek justice in courts. Over the century, Virginians passed laws that steadily eroded the freedoms of Africans, or as they called them, Negroes. For example, this 1639 statute created a legal distinction between white and black men. All persons except Negroes are to be provided with arms and ammunitions or be fined at pleasure of the government and council. That's the Laws of Virginia, Act 10, 1639, 1640. Yeah, primary. Right out the primary. Hit the like button. Photoshop. So hard, you play too much. We don't do no Photoshop. Oh, you talking about them people, how they be, they be trying to Photoshop you. Now they do. They definitely do it. They painted the white people black and the black people red. They did that. There's a picture floating around in the Abo community like that. Now, the first legal mention of slavery in Virginia occurs in 1640 when the court sentenced one Negro to lifetime servitude. The same court case demonstrates how the English used law enforcement to drive a wedge between African and English social relationships. 3 servant workers for Virginia farmer ran away to Maryland. 2 were white, 1 was black. They were captured in Maryland and returned to Jamestown, where the court sentenced all 3 to 30 lashes and additional servitude. John Punch, the black man, was ordered to serve his said master or his assigned for the time of his natural life here or elsewhere. In 1641, Massachusetts had the dubious distinction of being the first colony to recognize slavery as a legal institution. Over the time, British law and laws of the European colonists became more or less stringent in the direction relationship in 2 factors. 1, the increasing proportion of Africans and African progeny of whites in the colony. 2, the increasing need for African unpaid labor to support a rural agrarian-based economy found in the Low Country and Chesapeake colonies as compared to the urban developing industrial and or shipping-based economies of New England and Middle colonies. Other laws were passed to drive wedge between white indentured servants and Africans, such as the 1660 law that punished indentured servants running away with a Negro. If caught, the indentured servant could have served out the Negro's time of servitude. So you run away with a Negro and you get caught, your ass is going to serve time. Be it enacted that in the case of the English servant shall run away in the company with any Negroes who are incapable of making satisfaction by the addition of time. Be it enacted that the English so running away with the company with them shall serve for the time of the said Negroes' absence as they are to do for their own by a former act, 1661, 1662 laws of Virginia Act. So here are more laws of the Virginia Act. As you can see, in 1625, the Negro population was 23, and it says 1639, all except Negroes are armed. In 1662, children born a slave mother is a slave. 1670, the Negroes or the Indians to buy Christian service. 1680, an act for preventing Negroes insurrection. Then you in the 1700s, you have slave codes. Again, laws infringing on Negro freedom in relation to increasing growth of Negro populations in colonial Virginia. What's up, Keisha? As the population of Africans and their descendants increased in numbers and laws increasingly constrained their independence. And you talking about they own and white people, bro? Here are distinctions made. We're going to made closing arguments. As you can see here, this is an African man. You see my cursor? This would be a native Aboriginal man or someone who is truly indigenous to the Americas. This is a white man. These are distinctions. They make these distinctions. Based on the evidence presented, neither the Crown nor early settlers saw themselves as creating a caste system that would lower the status of unhealthy whites to that of enslaved people. Discovering new land allow migrants to stake claim and build wealth for themselves, even those who could not afford the journey across the Atlantic. As mentioned earlier, 80% of the whites who came to the Americas did so under the contractual servitude. Even the criminals who were allowed to have a fresh start were contract workers. Slave codes and laws were written so that free blacks and natives could enslave people, but they had to look like them. And those same laws prevented them from ever owning whites who weren't reduced to slavery to begin with. Columbus helped lay the groundwork, and through early depictions of natives, European stereotypes permitted throughout the Americas as they did in Africa. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the work, not the full body of work, not the debate style of the work, but the reason why Aboriginal power would not take the debate. There is simply no evidence of blacks or Native Americans owning whites when they had laws against it in their caste systems and classifications of racial hierarchy, etc. They did not put blacks atop of their class. A mulatto would be more along those than others, and all five of these idiots that you see up here, only one of them would probably be above blacks. The rest of these Negroes are underneath Carimio. In the caste systems that was established by the Spanish. So this presentation provides evidence and definitions of terms that have not been argued or presented in the Aboriginal community. And I can give you a great example of that. The Incognita, for example. Most people don't know what Incognitas are. And that is a big issue, right? So we look at, well, what is an Incognita? For a reason. Let me get out of this full screen. Scrolling back the other way just would have took forever. It was a system where Spanish adventurers and settlers were granted the legal right to extract forced labor from indigenous tribal chiefs in the American colonies of the Spanish Empire. So before black people was ever here, they had already created a structure of use of a system that was in place to determine the Spanish from the indigenous that were here. Then when blacks come in, they redevelop the system. They didn't care if you converted to Christianity, you were beneath them. These things were properly laid out, argued, and defined. But see, scholastically, this would make sense to people who study and read. But for those who just have a belief and don't know shit I'm saying, they're like, I don't even know what that is. That's why I provided you the sources, so that you can learn it at your own merit and then understand it, because I definitely can't teach you, because you're going to frustrate me and I'm going to frustrate you, because I'm going to look at you like you're stupid. They developed a caste system. They developed other laws that separated them. Why in the hell could black people own white people? We have no instance of that, no evidence of that ever occurring, because their laws wouldn't allow it. Then these people you talking about that were slaves, is you tripping, you crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you to the immigrant servants database. Yep, you thought I was just gonna let that slide? No, we got from letters A through Z the search immigrants. There's this large database of people and when they came over here and when they ended up. If they went to Barbados, if they went to some part of the Americas, is listed, or any other place. All of these places are here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at these people's names. They coming over here with first and last names. Even the year, the date of birth would be here. The date of their servitude would be here. And if you click on this little view, it'll show you the contract. And I'm going to get into that. Here is another database that also helps. So I'm showing you two different databases. This is the search from Bristol Registers of Servants sent to foreign plantations between 1654 and 1686. This has 10,000 indentured servant contracts. You can't see it. I just blew it up in your face. I deal with primary research. I don't have time to play games. I know how these white people got to the Americas, and it wasn't no damn slave trade and reverse bullshit. From there, you'll see things like this. When I clicked on the view part earlier, it'll look something like this: indentured servants and apprentice records of servants index. And it goes from 1724 up into 1850. Some of this is broken up. I know you don't see a lot of names here, but you will start seeing names, and then you'll start seeing last names, and it'll tell you all about when they got here and their whole employ. And this is 40 pages of this stuff. And there's more information, but I am only showing you that we know who the white folk is. They came in the 1600s, hopping up off these boats between them 16s and 1700s up into the 1800s. These ain't, listen, these, look, prisoner troubles and expenses. I even got the database for the 50,000 prisoners that they sent over here too. A lot of these got them in here too. Look, intoxication, prison troubles and expenses, runaway troubles and expenses. A lot of them right here on this list. Matter of fact, let me see what else I want to touch on. I don't too much want to touch on nothing else. I'm gonna say this other stuff for another conversation. So yeah, this is what he was banking on. This is what they was banking on right here. The White Slave by Bartley Campbell. They really thought they had something, but if you go down here and read what it say, image of a male plantation owner holding a cane and sad-looking white woman holding her bonnet with African-American slaves harvesting cotton in the field behind them in the plantation house, slave cabins, river steamship in the background, and a poster advertising the drama, The White Slave by Bartlett Campbell. Whoopsies! Place of creation, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a lithographic painting. Me plays no games. Yeah. The whole white slave mythology you running around here with. Oh, let me go on and introduce y'all to the white slave ship. This was a movie. Right? The White Slave Ship is a 1961 film directed by Silvio Amedeo. It was set in 1675. The film was about a group of convicts being transported from London to the New World as white slaves aboard the ship Albatross, captained by Isaac Cooper, Ivan Desney. Among the convicts held in chains below decks of the Dr. Robert Bradley as political prisoner being transported to the American colonies for treating a wounded rebel, Polly, a prostitute, and a murderer, Calico Jack. Above decks and living in comparative luxury are upper-class English family, the Medfords, including their beautiful daughter, Anna. Halfway across the Atlantic, the prisoners escape and take over the ship. Robert Bradley saves Anna's life, and despite their very different stations in life, the two gradually fall in love. Oh, just to add a little bit more sauce. This is the visual pedagogy of reform picturing white slavery in America. Watch this. On my phone, bro, Brandon. On my doorbell, bro. All right. This picture appeared in Chicago Attorney and Active Clio, Sensational 19, blah, blah, blah. These pictures right here, I left this in the description of the video as well. It will be, where is it at? Toward the top. You got to be careful, ladies and gentlemen. They will mislead you. They will deceive you. Anti-vice activists from William Stead and James Adams frequently compared themselves to the abolitionists who championed the cause of emancipation for blacks. But then they got a nigga over here, a Negro over here, a black man over here, around all these white people. Postcard, hung, dead. And they just sitting there looking. He butt naked, covered up by that little tile at the bottom part so you don't see his whacker. This was the lynching of Frank Embry in July 22nd, 1899 in Missouri. Did none of them go through that? How to stamp out white slavery. Yeah, we ain't playing. Come on, man. You ask this man, where's the evidence? He can't give you none. He won't give you none. The best he can give you with instances of how they treated white women, how the white man treated white women, but it's white on white crime. Ain't no instance of black people being involved in black people on white people crime. All the images and stuff in here telling it, look, the inside of the white slave traffic. Come get this work. I don't even want to read this to y'all because it'll start beating them up some more. That's why I just left it. They had them kids in the hospital that were left alone. Used them images to say that they were slaves. They was in a hospital, abandoned. And y'all don't know what y'all talking about, bro. What they talking about? So again, man, that's that on that. That was a long one. That's an hour and 50. Okay, about 40 minutes. You good to go. Yeah, Nat Turner definitely was Irish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm done reading. So if anybody that is an Aboriginal that would like to come up here and correct me, feel free. I just dropped a link in the chat and I would oblige your ignorance. One more time. Any Aboriginal who claims that you own white slaves and Native Americans own white slaves, if you would like to argue that point, I would oblige your ignorance. It ain't even just got to be that. Just come and prove to me that you was here before the white people. I would gladly appreciate anyone who could come up here and demonstrate how, with evidence, how you were here before the Paleo Indians and the white people. You cannot pretend. Don't get up here and pretend. This is not a pretend show. I need to be able to share your screen and obtain the evidence that you got from wherever you got it from. Please and thank you. See, now nobody want to, you know what I mean? They be listening, but they don't want to have that conversation. I ain't even trying to argue with nobody. I'm trying to have a conversation. Where they at? They are definitely Taharka, East Asian and Siberian mix. They are definitely that. But they listening though. Keisha, they listening. Some of them listening. I'm trying to see these slaves. I want to see these white slaves. Let me put this on the screen real quick. Vino is definitely not, he ain't catching it fade. He is definitely not trying to catch this fade. I guarantee. All right, so I showed this document before, one of the documents, and this is the Negro in the 18th century Williamsburg, and I'm gonna take y'all to a place real quick, show y'all something. We'll go to page 43, which is chapter 5, and deals with the work of the Negro in Williamsburg. I'm not going to read all of it, but I just want to give you a little piece of this information. I did leave this in the description for anyone who is interested. To make too much of the 18th century, Williamsburg as an urban economy may be inaccurate to a degree. Since the Virginia capital owed its creation and continuing life so largely to the business of politics and the government, to a large extent to the town represented a concentration of semi-agrarian, damn, why can't I say the word? Agrarian households whose gardens provided much of the food for both local residents and visitors. Operating plantations moreover extended to its own limits. Still, there were enough features in genuine town life, the presence of a number of merchants and craftsmen, the crowded public times, etc., to ensure the economic function of Williamsburg slaves was distinctive from that of the plantation Negroes. What you talking about? Read on, Mo Willis. Of all the impressions, which one forms from reading throughout the newspaper advertisements that are the chief source of information about slave occupations in Williamsburg, the one which stands out most strongly is that of a preponderance of domestic Negroes, slaves who were engaged in all the usual tasks of running a household. Advertisements for the sale of a lot of Negroes were likely to specify that they were valuable slaves, chiefly house servants or valuable slaves, being the servants usually employed in and about the house and the kitchen. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, sir, Ski. Where y'all at? We can keep going. I just don't. I don't want to just continue to read to y'all or anything like that. But you can go get your favorite Abo and tell them that they're more than welcome to come up here and have a conversation. I'm not in the yelling mood. I'm not even trying to cuss nobody out. And that's just being real. Go get your favorite. Go get your favorite Abo. Tell them I'm looking for them. They can quit running. Link in the chat. We know, Mika, but it's worth a shot. You know what I'm saying? It's worth a shot. Worth a shot. We gotta see first. We just can't say they ain't coming. Somebody gotta be bold enough. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gotta have some noggins. Somebody do. I don't know what they're scared of. I think them boys. Yep. I don't know what they're scared of. Elbows don't want no smoke. That's a fact. They want to sit behind their little chats and talk. He said, "I'm here for the crash out." Man, I've been talking for 2 hours, bro. I know you're here to learn. I just want to let somebody else say what they got to say regarding the information. Where lists of such slaves stated the skills and occupations of each various domestic servants, cooks, waiters, slaves accustomed to general housework, etc. predominant. There's a measure of statistical evidence for the large number of domestic slaves in a group of 104 Negroes chosen at random from among those sold in Williamsburg at various times. Advertisement for the sale of 60 give information about the previous work. Out of the 60, a total of 47 had been domestic servants of one type or another, as against 13 craftsmen. This is not large sampling, but it is at least a clue to the proportion of household slaves in the general slave population. We need their best evidence. It don't matter who it come from. We need their best, what they feel is their best evidence. Hold on. Let me try something real quick. Really quick. on, y'all. I'm looking up something. What is doing that? They be online every day, all day, and then they running around here talking about stuff they don't know nothing about. So what they talking about? What not a coincidence that? Oh, that was 3 weeks ago. Man, I guess I missed all that. He still hiding these videos. Yep. Aboriginal Power still hiding the videos. They mad at YK for dropping them new songs on them. Hold on real quick, y'all. Let me see. I'm trying to look at something before I even share my screen. He playing the stupid ass trick daddy shit. I don't want to get into any of that. I already made a post on Facebook, and I want to argue with Sutek. I want to argue with Sutek about something. Smoke signal hiding. Had they been live? Oh, not a coincidence. You might be gone, bro. You still here? Where y'all been arguing with these fools at, bro? I don't see. You talking about y'all getting smoked? I'm trying to see. No, y'all didn't get smoked. Y'all got all the answers to the test. Trick Daddy said he trying to figure out how the afro got in front of his name. You big dummy. You need to subscribe to Each One Teach One. Smoke Signal said he got a show scheduled for today. He finna go live. So you in here listening, huh? You in here listening, but you don't want to have a conversation because you ain't got no. You can't share your screen. You ain't got no source. Look at this shit. Let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something real quick. Look at this shit. This is shit I'm talking about. Look at this shit. So he got an incoming show that should have started by now. 11 hours and 55 minutes. 10 hours and 47 minutes. 11 hours and 55 minutes. 9 hours and 35 minutes. 9 hours, 11:54. 8 hours, 11:55, 11:54. 9 hours, 11:55. Bruh, who the fuck is 11 hours? Do these niggas got jobs? And they damn sure don't understand etymological fallacies, which they always commit. So I don't even understand why they doing the show on that shit. That's crazy. Look at this. That's what kind of time them niggas got when they live, bro. Straight trash. So what they talking about? A lot of smoke videos getting taken down by YouTube. They have no life. Yo, so what was AP talking about? Not a coincidence. You and Lucky, ain't that when y'all went over there and beat them up about some stuff? Golly, bro. 10, 11 hours streams, and you know they going live every day. And you right, they is taking videos down because there's gaps in here. I see Willie was over there on the etymological fallacy shit about at the 2-hour mark. So I don't know what they talking about over there. Ain't no screen sharing. Oh, Lord, what's this? Oh, that's music. I don't see you on here, Nick. Ain't no screen sharing. So they just talked the whole time? They sure in the hell did. Damn. 11 hours of prison babble. Has Top Cats been live? Let's check. Let's see if Top Cat's been live. Bear probably couldn't pay his internet bill, so he can't go live like he want. So he probably borrowing internet from fucking McDonald's. Bottom Kid's been live. I don't know how consistent. He got a show scheduled for today too. He finna go live at 5:30. Talking about reacting to Trick Daddy saying stupid shit. Why they still on that? He just did a show about that 3 days ago. So he gonna do a whole nother show about it. Trick Daddy don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Then he talking about Angel Reese, Beyonce, Carter B. Bruh, I don't know what's up with you niggas. Anybody that think this lady ain't something, she went through the same shit you niggas went through. He did a whole bunch of shows about black people. He been tearing that up. Trump and Kamala, he been weighing that out. And he don't even know what he talking about. This dude got a video of Phil Valentine. Anybody that give credence to Phil Valentine is stupid. Because Phil Valentine is dumb as a box of rocks. He said Phil Valentine is passing him the torch. What? Yo, this is crazy. 2 pseudos? Bruh. Can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. You asked me who did I vote for? I didn't vote for Trump. I don't give a fuck who was in that office. I wouldn't vote. Who else was on the ticket? I wasn't voting for Trump. And he doing exactly what I thought he would do. He said he was going to do it. He told us he was. Making stupid cabinet picks. This nigga got Phil Valentine on the show with these dumbass women. Oh yeah, y'all in trouble. Y'all finna get 4 years of fuckery. Y'all on y'all own. Man, I'm not finna get involved in none of that. I can edify the reason why I voted the way I voted. My vote wasn't about me. My vote was about the people around me. No, it's not live. It's not live at all. You're wrong, dog in the morning. I'm gonna drop a link one more time, man, before I slide on y'all. I really came to put that on paper. I mean, a presentation, just so people will have that information. And then work on my next bill. I've been sitting on this shit for too long. Just sitting on Are you with the Kamala not black stuff? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not on the she not black stuff. I will give you a brief synopsis of my position about Kamala and what people are saying. So me and Sutek actually are at odds about that. Sutek is of the belief that she was acting black, and I'm like, how the fuck do you act black when you were raised in your father's Jamaican, she's Jamaican Indian, like Obama is not Jamaican, but of course it's Kenyan and European, right? So that's the difference between the two, is that Obama's father's from Africa, Kenya, whereas Kamala's father is Jamaican. But if you trace him back, of course, he's going to have Irish and African ancestry. So Kamala's mother's Indian side doesn't dominate her genetics. The thing is that she has African ancestry in her, right? So that doesn't matter. Her biological makeup doesn't matter. Sutek is arguing the social status of Kamala. So if you're going to argue that, then there's a problem that can be had from the sense of you're arguing a social status. So you can't, he says he can, but he doing what white people doing. He doing what white people are doing. Never mind the fact that she went to an HBCU. Her mother and father walked in California during the 60s. They were part of all of that. Her mother recognized that she was raising black kids. So according to the social statuses of America, she is black. She was identified as black by the civilities of her cultural experience in the Americas. She was not practicing Indian cultures in the Americas. She had a black experience, she was involved in all of the shit that makes us who we are culturally, right? Because culturally, she identified as black due to her experience in this natural world. She went over in India. She couldn't get back to India. She couldn't go and get that experience. That's why you see her at an HBCU. That's why you see her in high school with nothing but the people that she grew up with in them hoods. That's why her parents marched in the 60s. In those I'm black and I'm proud shit. That involvement, it's the culture that is key. But there's significance there because scientifically, I would like to expose people's ignorance because they deviate into the realm of skin color so much. And, you know, I don't get into all of that. So my point is, and I said this to Sutek will then concede one point and say she just mixed. Are mixed people a part of the African American experience? Because the African American experience is that of people with ancestry from Africa who are admixed with a little European in them. Now, she's not African American. Yes, we're all mixed. But his argument, I'm speaking Sutek, is his argument is that she not black. How is she not black? Because African Americans are black. Is how I'm hearing his argument. And if that's how you're if that's how you're identifying your argument, what makes a person in America black according to the definition and then the experience? Because of her daddy down for sure black. Just like motherfucking Garfield ass. Garfield ain't African American, but nobody said that Garfield was not black. I'm gonna say that one more time. Garfield is not African American, and no, not one person has been on a live stream or challenged the blackness of Garfield. No one. I am African American. I have questions about that myself too. I am mixed, born in America. Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like that whole, I wasn't saying nothing. I was on mute. I wasn't on mute. I just wasn't saying. I was looking at my phone. So the notion is now about black. Who's black and who's not black? That's the new argument. Who's black and who's not black? So what I said to Sutek now in my conversation, I said, well then I'm not black. I said it is Ivan Van Sertima black. Is Carter G. Woodson black? What about Schomburg? Is Arturo Schomburg black? Hold on. Let me name a few people. John G. Jackson, is he black? What about George G.M. James? Is he black? Frederick, I can't say him. They gonna say he black. Is Langston Hughes black? I said I wasn't black. Bob Marley, right? They gonna say Bob Marley black. How? He ain't African American. Facts. Correct. Correct. But that argument about Kamala's blackness is irrelevant. 88% of black women in America voted for her. The conversation over 73% of black men voted for her. So that minute proportion of 27% of black men that did not vote for her, we all know why. Right, Pure, but they don't say that he's mixed. They don't say that he's biracial. They say he black. So if it wasn't for the mulatto in America, black people wouldn't have shit. The ones you calling black, if it wasn't for the biracial mixed mulatto motherfucker in America, black people in America wouldn't have shit. They fought harder. That is a fact. Among us, she did well. Listen, that ain't even a half. It was the majority of the white people, the majority population in America that settled the debate. They made a hell of a statement. Forget us arguing over if she's black or not. The white people said, we don't care if she black, blue, or whatever the case may be. We ain't voting for her. We voting for the person that represents the same racial class as us. They stood on 10 toes. They didn't care what his policies were. They voted for him. They vote for Trump was for that simple fact. Desmond, Desmond, bruh, you wouldn't even be black. You are not a coincidence. Y'all ain't black. That's crazy to me. How look at Desmond, y'all. But according to what people are saying about her is the same thing that they saying about Desmond and not a coincidence now. Even myself. I got the J mark in me. That ain't no African haplogroup. The other side is an African haplogroup, but that J marker ain't no African haplogroup. Craziness. I just never seen it before. Like how stupid people could be. We got so caught up. I wasn't saying nothing. We got so caught up into that part of it that it was kind of crazy. But I'm gonna just say this real quick. I did want to do a build on that, but I have something very interesting that I wanted to get into, and I don't want to destroy this stream with my next topic. So I may be back in about. I may go live from Science with Sean. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. Now I'm just gonna get it prepared for the following week. So I want to get into skin tone, and some man. It's scientific what I want to get into. So I'm gonna do it on Science with Sean. Not saying that I can't do it here, but I just don't want to do it on this show. It's a whole nother subject, and I want to just get into how ignorant we make this thing look. Before we had DNA, we had culture. Culture had always been king. Culture was the DNA of ancient times. Now DNA is the thing, but culture still reigns supreme. No matter the fact that we have DNA right now to know a little bit more about our admixture and who we are as a people, it's still your culture that significantly reigns supreme. So if our culture is rooted in blackness, but our genetics are admixed in whiteness, Indianness, whatever the case may be, other different ethnicities, right? That doesn't define culturally our blackness. I'm gonna give you an example of that. Someone of European ancestry that could hang around blacks, grew up with blacks, friends of blacks, they still don't have that black experience. They don't have the black culture because they have a privilege that bestows on them the privileges of the Americas to do whatever it is that our black asses can't. Hold on one second. I'm putting the chat. But again, that whole blackness thing is intriguing because we allowed our ignorance to do all of that. But We just got to do better. We got to do better, period. This whole redefining who we are and changing our social statuses to include or not include is crazy. We know who ain't included. The Indians and the Europeans and the Mexicans. Nah, I'm just talking. Popcorn and sausage. Boy, y'all make up anything. Where my page at? Here you go, right here. Drop that link in the chisel. Drop that link in the chisel. And that's what they're trying to say about her, is that she was black only by convenience, but that wasn't the case at all. She was scrutinized. You see, she ain't had no babies by dude. She get that tutti frutti up to who she really want to get it up to. She gonna have them babies. Hey, but you ain't even got to confuse me, bro. My grandmama and on my mama's side, my grandmama on my mama's side, and her sister and my great grandmama all could pass as white, and did pass as white during the racist ass Southern shit. Cause what was it? During desegregation, my grandmama was down here from Kentucky and could catch a cab in the era the cabs wasn't letting black people in their cars. Let me see what Edward said. Side note, Sean, have you seen the latest update on 23andMe? It breaks down the regions of Africa, diaspora, and America. Yeah, not a coincidence, Nim, and some other people was talking about that in the chat. I thought I put the, yeah, I did. I put the, all right, okay. I don't know who else needs to subscribe, but I got a real, I want to get into, and I'm going to take my time with that. I got a nice little study. We're going to get into Jablonski's work, because many people haven't read Jablonski's work on skin color. And, you know, I got that. I got that work. Let me pull it up. 23andMe. Hold on one second. 23andMe. I don't be checking it like that. When I hear people get updates, then, you know, after I hear a few people say something about updates, I started to check it then. Bro, I don't even remember my login. Let me try that first. That don't work? Nope. That ain't work. Okay. Did that work? Nope. That ain't work. Nope. That ain't work either. But I don't even be remembering my password to the jump. I'm glad I ain't sharing my screen. Hold on, y'all. Let me log in and do this thing. Check my spam. Endless drinks. 23andMe password reset. Almost done. Oh, time 12 characters. Oh, that's why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 of them lambs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get signed into my account. Here we go. Oh man, they had to send me a code. Where you send a code to? God dang, bro. Two-way authentication, a bitch. Don't challenge my device no more. Yeah, I just changed my password, bro. It's me, bro. Hold on, y'all. I know y'all be scamming. I know Mika be scamming, so you gotta watch how you do your shit, because she'll try to steal your identity and shit. Oh yeah, I've been seeing my DNA relatives pop up. I signed up for that bullshit. Family background, compositions. What you talking about? What I say? Ain't no cap in my rep. That's what people do. They have sex. My Nigerian shit went up. I got 0.6 on the sign. I'm a Aboriginal. Look at that. I'm Aboriginal. 0.6. La 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 la. Wait till I get my money right. Northwestern European. Them immigrants that came to America. Look at that boy Hablo. I got 2% of that Neanderthalis. Everybody got that 2%. He said smoke signal. 2% of that Neanderthalis. What up, Gullah? Where did that J marker come from? Up out of Africa with that L3. Y'all remember I did that show about the L3 haplogroup? How the L3 is responsible for populating the rest of the world? Y'all better give me some credit for doing that show. Look at L3. Left Africa about 65,000 years ago. Ends up turning into N, which is in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. N went up into R over there in the Middle East and some goddamn well. Then it came on up a little bit more. I wish I had Zoom. And I can see this area right here. J went boom, J went boom, J went boom. And I guarantee you this J right here was the bastard that came back into West Africa and put that P on my great granddaddy. Guarantee you. One in 200. Shit at J1C2. Details. Come on, man. Me and Kamala got the same shit, bro. What y'all talking about? Hating on them, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. I hate. Y'all gotta stop self-hate, bro. Y'all better get back in the Amos Wilson. Look at what you were out about. How I expose how you be stealing people, you committing fraud, identity fraud. You a scammer. Look at that, y'all. Hablo Group A. It's some updates for sure. Hablo Group A. 275,000 years ago. He was one of thousands of men who lived in Eastern Africa at the time. While his male line descendants passed down their Y chromosome generation after generation, the lineages from other men died out. Over time, his lineage alone gave rise to all haplogroups that exist today. Haplogroup A. He is now DEM145 at the year mark of 76,000 years ago. Before 3,000 years later, he becomes EM96, who is going into where? West Africa. Where was he before West Africa? Damn, is that not in Egypt? Nah, I'm just plucking around with y'all. But it's close. Come on, man. Quit playing with my great granddaddy. Play with my great granddaddy. Peep game. EM180 branch of E dominates south of the Sahara. The haplogroup originated 17,000 years ago in the pockets of Western Africa that were habitable at the time, when much of the continent was extremely dry due to the Ice Age climate conditions. That's around the time the Native Americans is coming up in America. Migrated throughout sub-Saharan Africa, spurred by the development of agriculture and ironwork, and that's why I'm good with that iron. I can't show y'all this, but y'all can hear it. Yeah, that's why I'm good with slanging that iron. You know what I'm talking about? I had to take the clip out. Now, the EM180 mostly common today among Bantu languages and those related to them. It reaches levels of up to 90% among the Mandinka and the Yoruba, where the migrations began. Further from their origin, reaches frequencies of 50% of the higher in the Hatu, Sukuma, the Herero, and the Khoisan. The lineages is our most common haplogroup among African American males today, baby. 60% of the African American men fall into this hablo due to the transatlantic slave trade, which drew individuals from Western Africa, Mozambique, where EM180 accounts for the majority of the men. They stole us. They stole us. They stole our granddaddies. And then we come over this motherfucker and get ignorant and act like we ain't from Africa, bro. Today, you share the haplogroup with all the men who are paternal line descendants of a common ancestor. So we got a common, I'm kin to 60% of the black men in America with their hablo. Me, 60% of the men with the hablo. That means legendary Top Cats, Dan Calloway, Smoke Signal, Aboriginal Power, Autochthonous One, Phoenix Moon, Dulcinea, dumbass. No, she is. She was 80% African in her DNA. Where you see that at? Where you see that at? Hold on, bro. You got to get on the stream, bro. I'm trying to go to the update where you talking about so I can know, bro. And you typing in the chat. You got, come on, Edward. Hop your ass on that link, bro. Tell me where you trying to get me to go, so I can show all that. I ain't got no problem with showing it. Come on, man. What you mean? I'm on the website. I ain't got to update my app. Upgrade. What I got to upgrade to? I ain't finna pay them for health. I'm not finna pay them for that, for no upgrade or no health. Tanya Lewis, 3% cousin, second cousin. That's close. Half cousin. This must be the white people. Don't be looking at my cousins. A Winners is my cousin. Look at that J marker. 0.69. How is she a cousin to me? She could pass a Native American. Look. Look at this. I can't click on her. Look. Aurora, Colorado. You know that's where them Native Americans is. You and her share a set of great-grandparents. My second great-grandparent is a relative, so she must be mixed. That's crazy. Nah, we definitely not. I ain't gotta regret nothing I say to you. Okay, so it just fluctuates with all these different people. But I probably could find some cousins a little bit more close. This mother must be in Nashville. I bet you this mother somewhere. Born in 1988. Second cousin. You in East Tennessee, I bet you. Look at that. It's a white lady. You own. Okay, so you my slave master. Your people enslaved yeah. So you the one. Yeah, you the one. Okay. Okay, you the one, lady. I'm suing you for reparations. Hold on, who just joined me? I'm just trying to find out who to sue. Now it's fourth cousin. Third cousin, you right, they don't count. They don't count, that's for sure. What's up, bro? Don't be trying to find my cousins, bro.
Peace.
What up, bro? It's good with you.
Not much, man. It should be underneath your ancestry and traits, but it's not showing up on your thing. So you might have to update it.
No, I got it right here. What? Ancestry traits overview, all ancestry reports, ancestry compositions.
No, go back up to the top and see where you got ancestry and traits.
Yeah.
All right. See where you were showing it right underneath of there. It should have been where it say African diaspora.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't think I clicked on it because I was on the other one. I wasn't on this one.
Yeah, try that one. But I'm using the app, so I don't know. I don't know if it's different for using the app.
What does it say on the app? It says you said it says African diaspora.
All right, so yeah, now click in where it say your ancestry composition rather. Okay. Go back up.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. What you want me to do?
Go up a little bit more. Where it say, all right, click on there, right?
Yeah. You talking about right there?
Now see, now click on, move that up, move that down. Go down.
Okay, hold up.
Now keep going down to the like where it say unassigned and all that.
Yeah. What I'm supposed to look at?
Keep going down. Down, further, keep going further down. Keep further down. See it should have been right underneath where it say unassigned. Because that's where mine is at. And
I'm on a website, so it's gotta be somewhere else.
Well, like I said, I'm using the app, so I don't know if it's a difference between that and that, but it shouldn't be though.
All right. No, it's I think I know what it is. I ain't finna harass nobody. Y'all see I got a cousin in Colorado. I actually got a cousin in Colorado for real though. You said you was looking at ancestry composition?
Yeah, underneath ancestry composition, where they give you a breakdown, and then underneath of it, it says, African diaspora. Right where we was at previously.
Mm-hmm. Nah, I know. I'm trying to click on something to see if something else will pop up. Okay, so this took me back to the where you can see your relatives.
No, where we at right now, where it says sub-Saharan, West Africa, and all that. Okay. When you get all the way to got all the way to the bottom where it say unassigned, the next thing was African diasporas, but I did pay a little extra for mine though.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Because I got historical stuff with it too, like who I'm related to historically, and like
tripping.
They show that I'm related to some Vikings and stuff. It's kind of crazy.
look at my family members though, bro. Come on, bro. Don't play with me, bro. Is it police? Nah, he can't be not in my family. I ain't no police. Yeah, we don't do the police in my family. I don't know about y'all got cops and shit in y'all family. We ain't got that type of shit in our bloodline. Look at these people spread out. You can even see these white people that enslaved us, you bastards. I see y'all.
Come in.
Dang, bro. Look at all these people, bro. Lexington, Kentucky to Nashville, Tennessee is a problem for me. I ain't gonna count. I think it's my cousin right here for real. I done got nose and found somebody I know on here. Like for real, for real. In Atlanta. Dang, that's crazy. I'm gonna text him in a minute. Well, what you doing on Ancestry? People in Chattanooga. We go to Nashville. Don't be talking about these white people y'all see pictures and shit. Y'all got white people on y'all shit too.
Yeah, I'm like 28 myself.
I want reparations from y'all. From y'all. I don't know who these 8 is right here. I want reparations from you, fourth cousin. I want reparations from you, Carissa Wickstrom. Morgan Smith, I want reparations from you. Rachel, I think you used to try to date my cousin in school. You look like the same Rachel. I don't know for sure. I want reparations from you. I'm finna email all these, I'm finna message all these people and tell them that y'all owe me reparations because y'all my cousins and I don't know y'all and I don't know how y'all got in my family. I don't know none of y'all. Y'all last names don't even make sense to me. Then I gotta go to East Tennessee. Where is it? Y'all think I'm playing. I'm finna hit everybody on this map y'all see related to me. I'm finna hit all these people up and say, I'm related to y'all. Y'all owe me reparations. To all the white people. And they gonna say how, and I'm gonna show them the DNA. And DNA match. What you doing in my DNA? What your people did to my people. It ain't a whole lot though. It's 525 relatives. Ain't a whole lot. Then I'm gonna hit my cousin up over here in the UK. He in London. Shit. I should be able to stay with him for the next 4 years. He a fourth cousin. How his black ass still over there? I'm gonna show up to the cookout. Cousin Pete. Come on, man. Y'all know he got that DNA. Look. Fourth cousin. Look at that. Maternal grandmother's birthplace was Guyana. Grandfather too. Come on, man. Y'all better quit playing with me, man. My family ain't white. Yeah, my family messed up. Don't get mad at these white people showing up in here. I told you I got the J marker. Matthew. I don't even know who Matthew is. But hold on, I'm finna try to find that shit, Edward. Look at this crazy ass cracker. He tattooed up. He done been to jail. Texas, Nebraska. I'm gonna see him at a football game and just smack him. Like, why are you smacking me? You said throughout the diaspora, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It should have been a new ancestry composition.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade it, bro. I'm gonna figure it out.
What I'm gonna do is because I can't share nothing on this through my phone, right?
Yeah. Hey, send it to me. Send me what it looked like on your shit so I can see. I'm scared of people now, bro. They too close.
Well, I'm gonna hop off this and I'm gonna send it to you through Facebook.
Bet.
All
right. I got a whole lot of cousins over here. Sheesh. Oh, they breaking up slow. I'm telling y'all, I'm finna hit these white people up. They gotta pay me. Cousin. Nah, where they check at? I want half y'all riches. I ain't hitting up nobody black. They in the same position I'm in. I'm going after these rich people. Telling you, I'm finna find you on Facebook. I know you got some money. I gotta have it all. Should have no, cause they moved. But some of these people, I'm gonna be able to do a little bit more with that. I know what to do too. He said it should have been below that. Diaspora. I bet you it's in his book. Hold on, y'all. Let me check. Bruh, I got an elbow cousin, bruh. Y'all done see my elbow cousin from Colorado? Y'all tripping. I bet you this is what he was talking about. Watch. Let me check my message. Oh, shit, I gotta log in. Cause see, look, he talking about it. African hunter-gatherer, Anatolian, Ashkenazi Jewism, yada, 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 all of that. That's what he talking about right here. Right below ancestry composition. Yo, Jetson. Okay. I see it. I ain't no damn Egyptian. For the motherfuckers out there that want to be Egyptians, I ain't North African either. I ain't no Somali either. This is a better breakdown of what you get, though, of what I'm showing. Your DNA suggests that you did not have Mexican and Central American ancestors. Uh-oh. I know y'all black asses don't want to do that. I know y'all black asses don't want to do that. I ain't have no no. You didn't have no ancestors. So you know they don't want to take no DNA test. Y'all know they don't want to take no DNA test. Are you retarded? Okay, let me check the Caribbeans then. He said that wrong being. Yeah, it is something wrong. Them motherfuckers got free labor up off of us. You did not have Caribbean ancestors. This gonna tell on all the elbows. This shit tells on all the elbows. So you already know I ain't got nobody in South America either. Let's see. Nope, I ain't had no damn body in South America either. Nobody. Nah, Garfield got Irish and shit. Garfield a con. So let's break this shit down. French and German. Senegambian. Come on, man. Thugging. Hell yeah, I got some cousins. Somebody over there, one or two people over there, kin to me. Come on, man. They doing a hell of a job right here. Give you a little bit of information. Garfield, he got Irish and all that. I ain't got none of this other stuff. I ain't got no Ashkenazi Jew. It say 0.0. All this ain't got none of me in there. This is what I am. Filipino 0.6. I got a little Filipino in me. Filipino. That's what I call it. Filipino. You better get with it. Filipino. 0.6. My Australoid. Denovison. Filipino. Sudanese. All this shit low. I told y'all Central West Africa. Y'all wasn't listening. 11.3% of my admixture come from Angolan Congolese. Look, when the Abos ask you what tribe you affiliated with, bro, you can just go through your DNA and tell their ass. Look at him. He's from the Congo. Look how he dressed. He dressed up like this. You're like, dang, he ain't from the Congo. Till you probably hear him talk. Oh, so you still telling me I'm in the wrong spot. So me looking at all ancestral reports, I'm still in the wrong spot. I'm gonna find what you talking about. Watch. I probably gotta pay a little more. I'm gonna find it though. My current ancestry populations. All right, so is this what you're talking about? I got the screenshot. I looked at it. I'm trying to compare it to your screenshot right now, but I think this is what you're referring to. Like it's right here. Well, I figured this. They haven't updated this. This is what they got to get better at right here. This part of all of that. And see, this. I think this is what you're referring to, the unassigned shit. Or the additional regions shit. Damn, how the fuck they plan on doing all of that? Whatever. Shit, it's their database. So maybe they find it. But anyway, is that what you talking about? Something like this? Because I see your unassigned, and then I said regions. Yeah, this right here. That reflect. Yeah, right here. Regions that reflect mixed ancestry or more recent ancestry. This is what you're talking about right here. But see, your shit on the African diaspora shows. Mine don't, because I ain't paid for it. So they ain't telling me shit because I ain't paid. Probably. If I paid, they probably would give me that information. But this what you talking about. So this the same shit. That right there, what I just showed. So let me show y'all how I got this. I went under scientific details. Cause here go the summary where it show your regular shit. I went under scientific details. And under scientific details, it's gonna take a minute because it's loading up data. And then, oh, you can download that shit too. It ain't showing, yeah. See, it show all of that, but then it won't say, it probably ain't telling me that because I ain't upgrade. I bet you if I upgrade, it tell me all that shit. I don't be caring about that, but some people do. But this is what Edward was talking about. It's right here. Yeah. I'm under there. But now on the website, it's not going to show on the summary. It's only going to show on the right here because it's more specific. The summary just going to generalize this shit. But if you're saying it should have showed up under here, I probably do need to upgrade. It's all good. I ain't tripping on that. I know what you're talking about now, though. So we good. Yes, sirski. But yeah, man, I'm gonna slide up over here, man. I've been here too long. I got it in. Y'all got the information. That's all that matter. But yeah, I'm gonna get into the Jablonski thing, man, and I'll probably do that next week. And we build on that. You know what I'm saying? What up, Barry? You late? You finna slide out. Make sure y'all stay tuned to the Mii Warrior Clan community page. I'll be continuing to put information on the community page, and I think other people will be too, here and there. Make sure y'all sharing it, commenting on it, engaging in conversations on there, challenging the ignorance on there, and then we can go from there. But absolutely, I will be sharing a lot of stuff on the community page. I have been and will continue. And then we'll get going. But yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Science with Sean, because I am going to do that build on Science with Sean. And it's going to get interesting. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Enjoy the rest of my day. As you should. As you should. Deserve. I just hope that these next 4 years with that fool in office, we don't go back to killing black people. And we did a lot of protesting during Trump's administration. I hope we don't get back to that, because that's going to be a whole problem. A whole problem. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, reshare the show.
How the fuck y'all find an African in my fucking family, but y'all ain't find
his own genealogy.
Shut the fuck up. That don't make sense, for one. Listen, y'all don't know what y'all did.
I don't feel like you standing on business.
Y'all lied on me, because y'all won't even know if that's me. And if y'all can trace that shit back to it's me, it's only 2 people in YouTube that got my information.
Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of meat. Half of this track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us honestly. You ain't a Cherokee, nope. You ain't a Chickasaw, nope. You ain't a Blackfoot, nope. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping with his genealogy. Now he's a con and I ain't talking about a singer. I'm coming for the top apple leader. He ain't a teacher, he's a preacher. He can't keep up, so we leave him. Yeah, he died by his own genealogy. You ain't an Indian, you ain't got a lot of me. Half of the track, best believe you lose a lot of sleep. Probably because you made it up to us possibly. You ain't a Cherokee, no. You ain't a Chickasaw, no. You ain't a Blackfoot. Nigga, get lost. You just a fool with low comprehension. So I gotta come through with the henchmen. NAC, Sean P, Shy Son, Lucky. Don't forget Jay, got no time to play. Caught an apple slipping off his genealogy. Now he's a con. OTK, TKO. Now he's a con. OTK, you died. TKO, genealogy.